All right, I'm working from home today. It's 12:30. Figured I'd pop on here and make a quick video update, even though I haven't uploaded my last video yet. I'll just do it all this afternoon. Um, my son, my youngest son, is having surgery on his toes today. They were ingrown on all four sides. Each side of the toe was ingrown. He's had a bad habit of biting them too short. Kind of nasty. He's almost a teenager, this guy. So hopefully this is the point where he changes it up. It's been pretty slow at work. I've discharged half my caseload this month. It's been a strange set of events, really. But being that I have surgery coming up 2 weeks from today, might not be such a bad thing. Go back to a quieter situation there. Had an appointment with Dr. Sharp last night, and I was telling Jessica this morning, I'm starting to get a little frustrated by therapy, and I'm starting to wonder if it's actually helping us, helping my situation, helping us. Because I sat there, Dr. Sharp asked what was going on, and I just mentioned that a lot of the issues that I've always had since I got married still persist. And a lot of that has to do with not knowing what to do with the writings of Paul. In relation to marriage. When I go to the Lord, I try to have a very submissive and kind of open attitude towards Him. And I invite His interactions and His will in my life, because He's the Lord, He's the Master. And there's something about that quiet attitude and meek and sort of like, here I am, use me, send me attitude that I really do try to kind of foster in my life. And, just reading through the New Testament, it seems like a husband is, supposed to love his wife, supposed to be concerned for her, pray for her, share the word of God with her, not to lord it over her, but to serve her, servant leadership. And so our marriage, I think, has been marked in a lot of ways by my efforts to do those things, to try to walk in that truth and that reality, and at the same time feeling like on her side of things, in her role, it's not really reciprocated. So what's always been critically important is that I hear her, and that I try to understand her, and that I'm there for her, and that I give her a hug, and I don't steamroll her or talk over top of her, when she's expressing stresses and frustrations. But hardly ever have I felt respected, which is the word Paul uses. Be sure that you love your wives as your own body, and let the wives be sure that they respect their husbands. That respect thing is more important than women understand. And I think in our culture, I was telling Dr. Sharp, our culture is just overrun by, it's like, there used to be a porn series called Girls Gone Wild. it's our culture. It's completely catered to them. They have the advantages, in spite of what everyone is saying. It's just the reality on the ground is that since I've been in elementary school, I've been hearing about girl power, and men kind of are. It's just a double standard that exists. I'm not going to go into all of it. But it also is true in our marriage. That's the issue for me. It's like the culture can do whatever it wants, but I was hoping, I think one of my expectations when I was young is that my family would not look like the world, that my, my relationships, the relationships in the kingdom would be different than the world. And that hasn't proved to be true. And so I'm kind of grappling with the reasons why it's not true. What did I do? What did I not do? And who am I now? I guess you could say, like, I have no sense of noble undertaking, noble purpose. I'm pressing for this in my family. I'm pressing for that. Told Dr. Sharp and Jessica yesterday that my efforts at leadership, spiritual or otherwise, have really felt very unsupported. Sometimes they've been actively resisted, and sometimes, more often, things are passively resisted. So I'll say something's important to me, and that someone else doesn't say, "Oh no, that's not important." They just say nothing. They don't acknowledge what I'm saying, and it extends beyond. I haven't had the greatest role models. I really haven't known any families that I thought were really seemed to have it together, at least not known them well enough to be able to observe dynamics, and now I'm at a point where I'm almost 50 years old, and I'm like, okay, well, this is almost behind me. This whole, raising kids, and obviously not marriage, but I do kind of wonder whether marriage, whether I should have zero expectations in marriage, if that's really where it should be. Is this really just a domestic partnership for economic reasons, for purposes of our, not devastating our children? Obviously, they've seen us struggle through things, and I understand that can be hard too, but I don't really buy it when people say, "Oh, our staying together was worse for the kids than separating." At least not in the absence of, abuse, abusive things that are happening. So that's really just something I'm grappling with. I'm grappling with what am I supposed to do? What is a man? What is the role of a Christian man? It's not it's apparently the culture has rejected the idea of, and in my family, in my household, I've dealt with this culture. The idea that the father is leading, and that the father is the head, and that the father is the one who's to blame, seems to have been rejected, and everybody does what's right in his own eyes, like in the time of Judges. It's just a lot that's been weighing on me, in addition to all the other stresses of life, lazy coworkers and car problems. I was leaving work last night, believe it or not, after my car had been in the shop for a month. I had a bolt in the tire, so that's getting repaired today. So I guess in my uncertainty, I'm just asking the Lord, what is that big thing? What is the thing? I need a reason to get out of bed. I need a compelling vision. A compelling vision. Whether my wife supports me or not, something that I'm pursuing. Whether my family is with me or not, something that I'm pursuing, a higher goal, a higher vision. Because without that, I am just floundering. And I just have no sense of, there's just nothing to keep me going. There's nothing behind, there's no muscle behind me going, oh, this is what I should do. So that's what I'm looking for here. Gonna keep looking for it.